There is a moment in every empire's history that looks ordinary while it's happening, and catastrophic once it's past. It never announces itself with sirens or headlines. It doesn't crash markets overnight or shut down cities in a single day. It feels slow, technical, almost boring. And yet, once crossed, everything changes. Rome missed it, Britain missed it. And today, many are asking a question that sounds uncomfortable, even dangerous. Has America just missed it too? Welcome back to Financial Freedom Desk. Before we go any further, take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because what we're about to discuss isn't trending news, it's structural reality. This is the kind of information people only search for after the damage is done. Staying ahead of it matters. History shows us that great powers don't collapse the way movies portray them. They don't fall from invasions alone. They don't disappear because of one bad leader or one bad year. They decline quietly through a series of choices that make perfect sense in the moment. Rome didn't fall because it lacked soldiers. It fell because its economic engine stopped rewarding production and started rewarding extraction. Britain didn't lose global dominance because it lacked ships. It lost it because debt, overextension, and financialization hollowed out its industrial core. And now, America stands at a point where the same warning lights are flashing, subtle, technical, and easy to ignore. The transition point is not collapse. It's far more dangerous than that. It's the moment when a system still looks strong on the surface, but its internal mechanics stop working the way they used to. Productivity slows, but asset prices rise. Wages stagnate, but debt expands. Institutions grow larger, yet trust erodes. These are not random symptoms, they are signals. In ancient Rome, this moment arrived when currency debasement replaced real economic growth. To fund wars, bureaucracy, and social stability, the empire reduced the silver content in its coins. On paper, nothing seemed wrong. Coins still circulated, markets still functioned, but purchasing power eroded, trade weakened, and confidence fractured. Rome didn't feel poor, it felt distorted. Wealth concentrated, productivity declined, and by the time the consequences became obvious, reversal was no longer possible. Britain's transition point came much later, and it looked different, but the pattern was the same. As the empire expanded, maintaining global dominance became more expensive than the economy could sustainably support. Debt increased, industrial leadership faded, financial power replaced productive strength. London remained rich even as the nation weakened. The empire didn't collapse. It transitioned out of dominance while convincing itself it still ruled the system. That illusion is what makes transition points so dangerous. Now look at the modern United States, the largest economy in the world, the global reserve currency issuer, the center of capital markets, innovation, and military power. On the surface, strength is everywhere, but beneath that surface, the signals are hard to ignore. Debt is no longer cyclical, it is structural. Trillions are added not during crises, but during expansions. Interest payments are rising faster than economic growth. Productivity gains no longer match asset inflation. Financial markets are increasingly dependent on policy intervention rather than organic demand. And perhaps most revealing of all, the system now requires constant liquidity support simply to function normally. This is where many people misunderstand the moment. They believe collapse happens when markets crash. In reality, collapse happens when markets stop reflecting reality altogether. When prices are maintained, not by value creation, but by intervention. When risk is suppressed, not eliminated. When debt replaces growth as the primary driver of stability. That is the transition point, and once crossed, policy options narrow dramatically. The United States has not lost power, but it has lost flexibility. Every solution now creates a new vulnerability. Raising interest rates stabilizes currency, but stresses debt. Cutting rates supports markets, but weakens purchasing power. Printing money avoids short-term crisis, but compounds long-term instability. There's no painless option left, only trade-offs. This is exactly what Rome faced. Exactly what Britain faced. Not because leaders were foolish, but because systems evolve until they can no longer retreat. What makes this moment uniquely dangerous is global awareness. Unlike Rome or Britain, today's world is interconnected in real time. Capital moves instantly. Confidence shifts faster than policy can respond. When trust fractures, it doesn't fracture locally, it fractures globally. Reserve currency status is not lost in a single announcement. It erodes slowly through alternatives, bilateral agreements, and reduced dependency, the dollar doesn't need to collapse for America to lose influence. It only needs to become less essential, and that process has already begun. At the same time, domestic pressures are intensifying, inequality widens, social trust weakens, political consensus fragments. These are not cultural accidents, they are economic outcomes. When systems stop distributing opportunity effectively, division becomes inevitable. Empires don't fall because people argue. People argue because the empire is already weakening. And yet, this is not a message of doom, it is a message of awareness. Transition points don't guarantee collapse, they guarantee change. Some nations adapt, most don't. The difference lies in whether societies recognize the shift while adjustment is still possible. The danger is not that America is failing. The danger is believing that past dominance guarantees future stability. Rome believed that. Britain believed that. History does not reward belief. It rewards adaptation. This is why understanding this moment matters, not for fear, not for panic, but for positioning. Economic transitions punish complacency and reward awareness. They transfer wealth, power, and opportunity, not evenly, but predictably. Individuals who understand transition points don't wait for confirmation. They don't rely on official reassurance. They diversify risk, strengthen resilience, and focus on assets, skills, and strategies that survive system change rather than depend on it. And that is exactly why we discuss these topics here on Financial Freedom Desk. Because financial freedom is not built during stability, it is built during transition. If this analysis made you think differently about where the economy is heading, let us know in the comments. Share this video with someone who still believes empires only fall suddenly. And if you value clear, honest economic breakdowns without hype or fear, make sure you're subscribed. History doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. And right now, the rhythm is unmistakable.